Okay, that would be something good.
Yeah.
That's who you are.
It's the best.
All right, so.
You guys are so sweet. We wanted to make sure that everybody understands what we do, that it's not just about videos, that we actually have a mission to inform you, to enlighten you, and to support you. And to that end, we are going to be not only having our annual picnic, but developing some ways for agents to be able to connect with us confidentially if they have something that is an issue that they want to discuss or a topic that they want us to bring up so that we can do more.
Yes, and we welcome Rachel to our committee. We're happy to have her join us. And we want to say, like Lorna said, we do, we'll have some videos that we put forth, when there's a month that we want to acknowledge. But we also want to have input from you all. We're the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee. But we don't know everything. And we don't know what you all are interested in and what would make you feel good and included and all of that. So to that end, anyone who wants to contribute, please let any of us know, because we're happy to bring your ideas to the forefront. Maybe end. Kelly.
I just.
Like you ladies have done for years already, like really always on top of it, always super relevant, so educational, like so refreshing. Like I'm so grateful for you.
Oh, thank you, Dragon.
Excellent, me too. But that's easy to say because, through the last 3 years, and, all of the, conversations around, racial and sexual and gender disparity, you two have been at the center of driving a lot of these conversations in the open, right? And creating a which I think is really, really important for me personally to be able to have candid conversations that are educational, right?
Yep.
It's really, really important. I ran in there because this morning when I was doing the Google search, they had like a little graphic, and I thought, oh, the graphic looked ethnic in some way, and I thought there was some specific day that today was, but it really was Filipino Dildo Day. So that's what the graphic was.
That much.
What was that? I love it.
Some of my closest friends are Filipinas, and I get so lucky. Adobo is my favorite. They like that I taste all the different ones.
Well, today is,
also take pride in their own.
today is the day. Yeah. Well, there you go. Thank you again. All right, let's go on to tell me something good, please. Please. I love the hair. I think that I would have arranged the photographs differently because like Tracy's on one side, Lauren's on the other side, and Rachel's on both sides. It's just,
okay.
I have issues. Tell me something good. Anybody, please? Sarah had her knee surgery and out and about in the rain. Excellent.
Those stairs.
Right, the stairs too. Clint. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. I try, right? Who else? Anybody else? So Christina's back.
Yay.
Grateful about that. I went back and tortured Doncher every day just to keep him properly softened up. So was it a shock for when he got back, when Christina got back? Anybody else?
I want to note to that, actually.
Add a note to it.
I mean, I'm sure you guys know, like, taking a vacation as a real estate agent is like almost impossible to do. And we're on call even worse than any, OBGYN, right? So anyway, I've been attempting to take these vacations. I take vacations annually because I've got a family and all that stuff, and I've never been able to unplug. It doesn't matter what country I'm in, what time zone I'm in, I'm always on LA time. So this vacation was my first vacation unplugging on behalf, because of Doncher, who was amazing, obviously, and everybody, and Alex. I want to give a shout out to. It was my first vacation in I don't know how many years that I actually did not turn my phone on, which was unheard of, right?
That's just
Yeah, I know, right? I know, like, I didn't check my emails for certain days, like, it was amazing.
And it was 3 weeks since, because I didn't hear from you. I didn't even know it was that long.
It was 3 weeks.
Oh,
Yeah,
it doesn't feel like that. She didn't like call.
That's like a year in real estate.
I know, I know, I know.
Yeah, no, I highly recommend it, but, what I'm not saying. Is the anxiety of coming back after shutting down is,
Yeah, so I flew in Monday morning thinking I was gonna have a full work day, and I talked to Dontre, he's like, no, I don't need you, don't come in. And then, so yesterday was my kid's birthday, so I took another day off, so. And Dontre's like, just work from home this week if you want to. I'm like,
It's so nice.
do I need to come in?
You're not as expensive, what you think.
Which was actually great.
And that's a good thing. It's a good thing that you're not as expensive as you think you are, right? A lot of agents, in the growth trajectory of building a larger team, can't let go of clients. My clients only want to work with me.
It's not true.
This is you have to train them, right? And you have to create standards that are transferable to the people in your team. And you have to hold everyone accountable to those standards, including yourself. And you have to do the job that you have to do.
Leverage your talent.
Voila.
But you got some pretty good talent.
I do.
Yes.
He's
All right.
not even paying attention. He's
Not
even paying attention.
Don't blow them up too. Oh, all right, I will. Okay, all right, let's, anybody else tell me something good? Okay, go. All right, come on, I'll be sitting in Sarah's lap. Happy hour this week on the 16th at La Boheme. Itati set that up.
I love that place. But it's outdoor.
There's an indoor element to it, too.
Indoor.
Yeah, the bar's inside.
Big indoor.
Yeah, so, and it's not gonna be raining on Thursday,
Oh, okay.
theoretically. So 5 to 7, please come. It's always fun, right? We always have fun. And that's it's on Santa Monica Boulevard in West Hollywood. Broker Caravan. So, yeah, literally every week we go out with a group this size or smaller and such. And it's evolving into a Keller Williams Larchmont event. And I say that because yesterday we showed up to a house like deep in the hills. Literally, it was the last house before like a dirt road. And we got in the door, and what did the agent say? Oh, you weren't there. He said, "What's that?" He goes, "Oh, is this Keller Williams Larchmont? I've heard of you guys," before we even said anything, because we came in such a mass of people. So it's great branding for our office, and great acknowledgement that you guys are showing up every week. It's open for anybody who wants to come. Yesterday, I think it was like 4 cars through the hills. It was really fun, and it was an opportunity for everyone we started a new thing, sort of trying to get everybody to do an executive review on the properties to start to build a vernacular of understanding. All are welcome. Please come. So, exactly.
That's a big on.
And it's impressive for a rainy day, and this turnout is as well, so awesome.
Yeah, and the agents were incredibly grateful. I would say, right? Although they wanted all of us to sign in, didn't. All right, great. So 11, every other week, we start from here, and then every other week we start out in the field so we can experience a different area. This week we experienced the east side, and I think next week we'll be here again. No?
I'm also thinking that like in certain areas like the valley, sometimes they do it.
Well, let's not get
Yeah.
crazy.
So.
So South Bay does Fridays. So does Valley.
So the Thursdays on like.
Pasadena is Thursday.
You're on your own.
Once
Uh,
No, once I see two Valley places, make that one of them your Friday.
What kind of food do you have?
Just my presence should be enough.
Yeah, that's
Show up, right?
cute, but we really appreciate it.
Well, I'll have what is it?
Yeah,
I'm having a churro, what is that, those churro
Cart?
cars? The guys with the trucks, the.
Yeah, we'll have to find someplace.
All right, go to Christina.
With a name. Let's plan it out like that, right? Someplace with sandwiches, and then we stop at the church, right? According to the food flow. All right. I'm in. Let's go. All right, so again, there's an email that goes out, and we either start from the office or the first spot. Try to carpool as much as possible. Upcoming classes. The morning show. It is everything that we say it is. Every day is an adventure, problem solving, motivation, love, hugs, whatever you need, right? Therapy, yeah. Well, this whole process is therapy. 9 a.m. every day. All are welcome and encouraged to join.
100%.
Thank you, Lorna and Tracy. All right, this week in training, capture more leads tomorrow. That can't be bad. Keep every lead. That absolutely can't be bad. And follow up with leads, right? This is what our business is, to meet more people, to communicate with them, and to follow up with them, right? Okay. And what does it do? On Monday, it strengthens relationships. That's what we're trying to do here. This is going to be on my grave, but we're in the business we're in the relationship business, and that means we foster the relationships we have, and we do activities to garner more relationships, right? And then once we have those relationships, it's how can I help today for the opportunity someday, over and over again. Please, I hate to oversimplify, but that's what we do. Okay, qualified potential buyers on Wednesday. And next is tech, email signatures and social media tomorrow, DocuSign on Friday, command overview always on Monday, listing and landing pages. Excellent tool. And then command overview. I'll get my phone in a second. I want to show you a little tidbit for today. In your command app, let me grab this. In your command app, when you open it up, at the top of your command app, just tap on your name. And I'll get it up in a second. So it looks like that, the start page. When you tap on your name, it says my business card, and bam, you're in an event. You have a QR code that will give you will transfer all of your contact information to whoever's there, right? See how that works?
I'm an advocate of that. I just had a networking event, and I did that to people, and they all were like, this is awesome. And I feel a lot of people scanned it. So a ton of people there now have me in their contacts. So I did it last night too at show. Like there was another comic there that was interested. I was like, oh, don't worry about here, scan this, and so now I'm in there. So it's super easy.
You
and
could
it's
make it, you could make it your screensaver, put it a
I did a
favorite in the
screenshot of it
photo.
too, because reception wasn't that good, so I
Yeah.
did a screenshot.
What's that? Oh, what is that? That's what it looks like blown up?
I'm sorry?
Oh, wow.
It does not give you their information, which is kind of, God, I wish it would, because I'm like, hey, now text me right away. I said that to each person so I can have their stuff, but then I got. So I'm putting in dark hair, had on green shirt, because I had no idea. They didn't text me their name sometimes. They're like.
What the hell's your name again? What do you got?
QR code out. That grabs theirs that, so they scan yours and then grabs theirs to your phone.
I have that too, but the problem with that is they have to download it.
Yes, I have Popal, same thing.
So I've had
They,
people.
yeah, they're, so there's a process involved. Yeah.
Does it connect them to the app or no?
What's that?
Does it connect them to the app or no?
Yes.
By connecting
Popal, what? Well, I'm sorry. What, this?
No.
Oh, this? No. This just transfers your information.
to
yeah.
their contact.
So their contacts, yeah, gives them a contact, the DCF file.
I used to use the link, but that was the problem. If they didn't accept it, it wouldn't take yours in. Like,
Keep it moving. Tati, next slide. But that's that's a great little thing. Samantha, you want to talk about open house class?
About getting open houses. This is not only how to get them, what to do when you get them, what to do after you have them, all of the actual like nitty gritty details as well as suggestions and tips and tricks. Hopefully this helps clarify.
Oh, sorry.
And that'll be here, and I think I'll just on Zoom also.
All right, excellent. Okay, last week, before we get into this, last week I talked about these playbooks, right? And so from a previous agent services bought hundreds of these red binders. So I thought we use some of them. And so we printed up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different playbooks, open houses, social media, online leads, the EA code book, and newsletters. We'll be giving them away, okay, for people who participate. So just that we printed Paula printed them out and put everything in a little plastic sleeve for you. These are literally step-by-step instructions on how to create an online lead campaign, to social media, how to have a social media campaign. And so these are available to all of you. I just printed them out, right? And put them in these pretty binders, or I didn't do any of that, but Paula did. Very good. All right, so let's who participated already that I did not acknowledge? Anybody good? No? Okay, good. All right, come on. You're good. All right, Andy, I think you're first.
Hi, everybody. Sorry for the background noise. I am desperately trying to get out of here. I'm in Montana and it's a blizzard. So sorry about the background noise. Big headlines, obviously last week with Silicon Valley Bank. I wanted to just briefly explain how this happens and what it looks like and how it impacts lending, right? So long story short, when you deposit your money into a banking institution, the bank has to make money. If they tell you that they're going to pay you 0.5% interest on your $100,000, for instance, they're going to pay you $500 a year. The bank then turns around and let's say takes 90% of that deposit, so $90,000. The bank turns around and invests it so that they can make money. They can make a return on your deposit so that they can pay you the $500 and the bank makes a profit. If they turn around, they make this investment of $90,000, they invested in all kinds of things, long-term bonds and short-term things and so on and so forth. Long story short, with SVB and that whole situation, what happened there is they had, a bunch of money invested, and all of a sudden, if you're a depositor and you're getting 0.5% interest or return on your deposit from the bank, with the way that the current market is and with the increased Fed fund rate, there are other options for people and depositors to go and look elsewhere and get a 5% return on their investment instead of a 0.5%. So all of a sudden you have depositors starting to withdraw funds from this institution, and the bank has, 90K of this 100,000 initial deposit invested elsewhere. In this situation, the bank should have shifted investments and assets and so forth in order to cover the shortage of people pulling money out. In addition to that, there's also a regulation that doesn't require banks to necessarily disclose their losses. In this particular case, the bank claimed a $12 billion profit after people started withdrawing funds, and there wasn't a shift of investments and so forth. There was a $15 billion loss on their balance sheet. So if we take 12 and 15, that's a negative of $3 billion. You have depositors pulling money out, and then you have people shorting the stock. All of a sudden you have a bank that is completely insolvent. This is because of the Fed policy and the Fed's reaction in the last year and the severe rate increases and so forth. I'm sure you've all seen in the headlines, they're talking about maybe a possible pause. There are major long-term effects. In addition to that, we could see some adjustments from a lending perspective. And if you look at different other institutions, for instance, other banks that do mortgages, there could be some pulling back in terms of guidelines. If institutions are reassessing books and they're reassessing the situation because it's gotten so expensive to borrow money from an institution's perspective with the Fed fund rate so high, there's a lot of moving parts here. So I will just say that we've had some positive impact from a mortgage rate perspective. But all of this could also mean additional loss of jobs. There's different industries and so forth that this could impact. So keep your eye on it. Also, who your buyers are using as a lender absolutely matters. Programs could change. All of a sudden you could see institutions maybe pausing a little bit on the mortgage side of things because they're trying to rebalance their books. So just keep an eye on that. That's it. I just wanted to give a brief explanation on how a bank would literally close its doors.
Thank you, Andy.
Yeah.
The venture capital world is complex on top of the banking world, right? David, are you on there, David? Andy, be safe coming home. Mary Kay, you want to say hi?
Thank you.
Hello, everybody. It's Mary Kay from Advanced Property Inspections. Well, I wanted to first of all let you know that my daughter is getting married April 1st. I want to give you good news. And we're very excited about that. So I don't know, I might not be in one of the meetings because, being drunk, we're just kidding. On Sunday, because getting married. About inspections, we're doing good. We did very good last week. This week, the phone calls are coming, and I'm not trying to be negative, but it's not as crazy as it was last year. Last week, 2 weeks, it was just, it went back to sort of not like COVID time, but normal. So, but we are getting a lot of phone calls. We're doing a lot of pre-listing inspections. And we did an inspection for United States of America. That was the owner. In Beverly Hills, there is a house. It's $46 million. And the bank took it back because I guess there was money laundering. During the rain, the house was not finished. They were fixing the house or remodeling. House got flooded and there were a lot of damages. The realtor wanted to reduce the price. So the United States of America looked around and found us as inspectors. So they brought Alex in to tell them what's wrong with the house, what needs to be fixed so they can reduce the price. So Alex did an inspection, us being from a third world country, from another country, all our dreams were coming to America. It was like, at each other, honestly got goosebumps and said, can you imagine us living in a world where we could never imagine that we can live in America? We did an inspection for America.
Wow, Mary.
So I wanted to share that with you. I still have goosebumps because when he read the email from them saying, Thank you so much for your knowledge. We want to make sure that we keep you in our system. And it was just a big thing for us. We've done a lot of inspections that are not, I mean, Danny DeVito's house, we did 80 million. We've done, multi-million-dollar homes, but this was very touchy for us because, our dreams all our lives was coming to America. And now, you know what I mean? We're doing inspections.
Absolutely. Mary, do me a favor. I want to give away one of these things, and I should have asked Andy too, and I'll go back and ask Andy after you. Could you ask a question that our agent body should know, so I can give away one of these binders?
Okay, you're talking about inspection, something about inspections?
Inspection-based question.
Okay, so let me ask you, when does the contingency period start for inspection?
Oh, I love that. Perfect. The question is, when does the contingency period start for inspections?
Once you have accepted offer, when does it start?
Oh, yeah, don't turn that up. Raise your hand, raise your hand. Absolutely not. Michael Flanagan. Excuse me? Exactly. Come and pick up a binder like that. When the contract is fully executed, that means when the last signature. The last signature.
Shouldn't be able to qualify to. Yeah. That's a little cheating too.
Go to the media. Social media. You need to have my time.
And that was something that I would like for all of you. I know, many buyers will call and say, I have, sometimes they'll say I have 25 days and they will think it's 25-day escrow. They can do inspection. Some of them say, well, I'm going to open up escrow Monday. So I'm just calling to ask you for a price. Once the escrow is opened, I ask them, when was your offer accepted? They'll say, oh, it was accepted yesterday, but it was like Friday, right? They call me Saturday. They're going to open up Monday because it was accepted late Friday. And I always tell them that it starts from the moment the offer is accepted or the last counter was accepted, because then they lose time. Sometimes it's 7 days, sometimes 5 days. Wait for Monday, then you lose 2 or 3 days.
Yep, opening of escrow does not determine the timeline.
No.
Mary, thank you so much.
I love you very much.
Have
Thank
a
you.
beautiful wedding.
You too.
Still on?
I'm gonna go schedule inspections. I'll talk.
All right, hydrate.
On behalf of David, I spoke to him this morning. He wanted to apologize for not being able to be at the meeting, working on something.
For you. He's not on the meeting because he's working, he's doing your bidding. Andy, are you along or did you jump off?
Yeah.
I'm here.
You ask a question that our agents should know.
What is the difference between a pre-qualification and a pre-approval?
Okay, raise your hand if you think you know that.
Oh,
You can't look it up.
I'm not looking at
Oh,
Michael took the one I.
So what's the difference between a pre-qualification and a pre-approval? When it comes to banking.
Come on, people.
Okay, there we go.
Go for it, Sarah.
Really need to.
Yes, but no, but yeah, that's. So.
Can I get back? I'm good.
Qualify for the loan and then pre-approved yet for the loan?
No. Sarah was on the mic, but you want to work with her a little bit more?
Hello, Sarah, like, what were you saying?
Like you can get pre-qualified and it doesn't mean you're approved. And
Right.
you're right, you have to go means that the funds will be there, like they will not.
Based on
Your
paperwork.
What's the difference in experience with the two? Like you said, pre-qualified, you just get over the phone and say, hey, I've got. And they say, oh, you gotta get.
Oh, you have to, because of pre-approved, yeah.
Is that?
That's.
There you
Just
go.
want to say, there's no guarantee that the loan is approved.
Right.
It's just a more, it's a more intense step in terms of them submitting paperwork. When someone is pre-qualified, you can call the bank and say, I make this much money, I've been working here for this long, I have this much money. Okay, based on that, we would say you're pre-qualified for X amount. It really doesn't mean anything because they haven't submitted their paperwork. So submitting your paperwork to get like a cursory look at it, provides you with a pre-approval.
Pre-approval, you would probably supply some pay stubs and.
It's proof.
Credit score on
What
you.
you're saying.
And tax returns for pre-approval.
And pre-approval.
Yeah.
Yeah, for those of you who have buyers, pre-approval doesn't mean you're locked in. So tell your buyers, don't do anything to mess with your credit. Don't open up credit cards, don't buy a new car, don't do something like that. You want to keep everything intact, so it will get.
Literally do not.
So the one thing you said that was incorrect was that the funds would be there.
Right.
That would be fully underwritten, which is the third
Right.
step.
Pre-approval
Tempest
is
joining in.
underwriting the borrower. Right, not the property, because you don't have the property yet, right? So they're saying, you, the borrower, based on the information you provided, are underwritable for this amount.
But things can change that.
Things-
Like if
yeah,
you
things-
buy a car, if you lose your job.
You got open houses, you got online leads, you got the code book, and you have newsletters. But
And congratulations.
Thanks, Andy.
Thank you.
This means it'll say, if they're very high price problems, it'll say, pre-approved clients funded.
Sure.
Because they don't want just looking to.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah, but
again,
then
that's
they
a
also
little bit of.
Pre-approved, when they say that, they just mean someone that's got a pre-qualification letter. So it doesn't mean that they have to be approved. It just means that they've spoken with some lender. That's it. So a lender gives you a pre-qual letter, you can go and take a look at that property.
It's a statement of intent more than,
But if someone's asking for a DU, that's a different question.
That doesn't happen.
EU
that often.
stands for.
Thank you.
It's like-
It stands for desktop underwriter, and I will say that it's illegal for a listing agent to ask for a DU approval, and secondly, the DU approval is worth the paper it's written on. Any information that's plugged into the Fannie Mae website that would spit out that DU approval can be manipulated. So just keep that in mind. The DU approval is not gold, everybody. And if you have a good enough loan officer, they are essentially pre-underwriting. And when issuing that pre-approval, it is as good as an underwriting approval if it hasn't already gone through the system. So just keep that in mind.
Andy. All right.
Also, just from a term perspective, I know this is nuanced, Joey's gonna get annoyed with me, but it was something I had to learn. Some of the big banks, Bank of America, those types of big banks, they don't do pre-approval letters. They don't distinguish the difference between a pre-qual and pre-approval the way, say, Andy does. So sometimes that is something you'll encounter if you've got a client who says, oh, I'm pre-qualified with Bank of America, and you're saying, oh, I need a pre-approval. They don't do that until you're actually in contract.
And Charlotte, why is it that they don't do that? Do you think?
They want to change their mind.
Exactly.
So go to Andy.
That's exactly.
So
They're non-committal.
Andy will do the
Yeah, yeah.
pre-approval.
Good.
Yeah. It's actually a paperwork thing for them. They just don't go down that road. But they do require more detail for their pre-qual than just talking to somebody on the phone. It's just a term that's different with them.
Yeah. All right, let's.
You want to make sure you're first qualified if you're listening.
Cross qualification is really good. Andy's up for that also. If you need that in a listing situation. All right, let's keep it moving. Thank you, Andy. Watch yourself coming home. Let's see, birthdays. What do we got? Or no, welcome new agents. Ellie Kringle, who's here. I don't know if Jesse is. So Ellie, raise your hand. You work here. Oh, there you go. There you go. Still in the same spot. Natalie Hagler and also Jesse Chang. Help me, Chang?
Okay.
Shane?
I don't know.
Shane? I just want to.
That's it.
Yeah, from Dayton, I don't know. Cheng.
Okay, stop.
All right. Anyway, Jesse's not here today. But welcome her and Natalie as soon as you see them. They're both wonderful new agents. Okay, next is birthdays. Today is Layla. No, I'm sorry. What is today? 15th. Okay, tomorrow's Layla, and then April Bella, Kenneth Washington, Dragon, Alan, Bea, Ashley, and Chris O'Brien all have birthdays this week. Wow, big weekend birthdays.
Yeah, the Frank's one.
All right. What's that? Oh. I'm still not convinced of the connection, but the closings this week. Oh, I'd like to see that. All right, Barentine Group, closed escrow. Antron closed a few. Laura Anderson closed on Norton. Byron on Fifth Avenue. Matthew Kim, he closed already on Tustin. Tracy Pence, congratulations on Eucalyptus. And Josh Mendoza on Rye. Bam. Some new escrows, Angela on Pier, Bates Hennington on Charles, Serge on Lewis and Hill Park, Rachel and Tiffany on Rhea, Woodward team on Lucerne, and Terry Lloyd, congratulations on White House. Yay. Some closed leases, Michelle Mena and Nash Carter for her first, congratulations. Also Alan Rue, Stacy Hahn, the Barentine Group, and Tim Munch, Middle Vine. New listings. Coming soon, Laura on David. I think it's open already. She had an open house this week, so I believe that that's on the market. It's no longer coming soon. It has actually arrived. 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,186 square feet for $1,198,000. Just a smidge over $1,000 a square foot. Oh, bam. Also Jan Hohenstein on Creston has a 2-bedroom, 1-bath. It's 1,080 square feet for $1 million. Can't tell if it's a house or a. Josephine McReynolds on Denwall and Carson has a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,618 square feet for $715,000.
That have multiple offers, counter offers.
Yeah, you're in counter. How many offers did you get, Josephine?
About 8.
8 offers. Good for you. First
Good
week.
price for
That's a
Carson.
really good price.
Yeah, that's a good price for Carson.
Good job. Josephine, probate.
Yes.
Congratulations. Excellent job, Josephine. All right. Leases. Coming soon, Louise has a lease on Riverside Drive, 2-bedroom, 1-bath. 1.5 is for 1,100 square feet is $2,800. Josephine, you're being asked to do a probate class. Work that up. Yeah. Also. Where are we? In the Barker Block has a 1-bedroom, 1-bath, 950 square feet for $2,620. Very specific. And Lauren's here. Lauren, I see you back there. Fred's not with you, right? You're just by yourself. So Zoom Casa, come on, Lauren. Zoom Casa is our concierge provider. And in that, I'll just give a nice introduction in that they supply services, preparatory services and or transitional services, financial services and physical services, and your client can render the payment in escrow through the close of escrow, right? That's the basic. Lauren's going to tell you more in
more compelling way than me, but, as she sets up the presentation.
Show your beautiful face and cameras.
Lauren?
I don't know where the camera is.
Right there.
Yeah.
Oh, right here?
Yes.
Awesome. Good morning, everyone. My name is Lauren McCarroll, and I am your Zoom Casa account executive. And we power the KW Concierge program. Is anyone familiar with KW Concierge? Yes? You've used it for pre-sale home prep maybe, or maybe you've heard about our Forward program. If we could go to the next slide, please.
It's working.
Oh, is it, should I just do it?
I
Okay.
got it that way.
Just a little bit about our company. We provide solutions for you to provide to your clients, no matter where they are in the home ownership life cycle. That means whether you have clients who are looking to sell, looking to buy before they sell, or looking to do some, deferred maintenance, we kind of have the solution for each of those scenarios. So our program first we have is Forward, and this is for your clients who need to maybe tap into the equity of their current home. They want to be able to move at their own pace. They've had buyers fall out of escrow and it's kind of risked the new deal. We would be a non-contingent guaranteed cash buyer for your client. So with Forward, we would buy their current property in 2 transactions. For the first transaction, typically for up to 70% of the appraised value. And from there, they just pay off the existing mortgage balance and closing costs, and then they're able to net the rest and put it toward the new purchase. So I'm just going to go back just a little bit.
Does everybody understand the mechanics of that? I'm a seller. And I want to sell my property, but I want to buy a new property, but I need the proceeds of property that I own.
Yeah. And I know I went over kind of quickly, so I'm just going to take a couple steps back. This is our CEO, Fred Ben. Unfortunately, he couldn't be with us this morning. In the middle is me. And on the right is our project manager, Scott Pastorius, who, if you did have any pre-sale home prep deals in the Los Angeles area, he'd be your guy, and he's phenomenal. As I mentioned,
Yeah, they're trying to.
oh, I'm sorry, pictures? I can send the deck as well. Okay. As I mentioned, we just provide solutions to your sellers no matter where they are in the home ownership life cycle. And so what we found that sellers are looking for in today's market is, above all, certainty. The market has shifted. They want to know that they'll have a buyer ready to go when they need to purchase the new home. They want to also be able to have the flexibility to move at their own pace. They want to be out of the property through any renovations or pre-sale home prep. They actually want to be out of the property through any showings too. So we have a solution for that. So as I mentioned with Forward, we unlock up to 70% of the appraised value. That way, they're able to tap into their equity, pay off that existing mortgage balance. As Andy was mentioning, it's going to be a little bit harder to qualify your buyers. So now we've wiped their balance sheet and proved their DTI, and that way she'll be able to qualify them for a new loan. Then they would be out of the property through any minor or major renovation. We cover those costs, and then we are later reimbursed through the closing of escrow. So with the second sale, they're happy in their new purchase, and we just wire them the remaining proceeds.
So they're able to sell their house directly to any buyer, not just to you, right?
Well, we would come in and purchase it directly from them, and then we would relist it with you. And once it sells on the open market, that's when they get the remaining proceeds, less your commission, closing costs, and our fee. So that would.
So you get the new price, like you negotiate the price with them. They sell.
Not necessarily. With iBuyers, they'd be leaving all that equity on the table. With us, we're partnering with them to help them actually increase the value of the property, and then they still get to participate in the upside. So as I mentioned, we would come in, do an appraisal and inspection. That's the first step. That's how we get the exact numbers that we're working with. Let's say the property appraises for $1 million. We would purchase the property for $1 million with a 30% buyer's credit, so we're not affecting the comps. That's the $700,000 that they're able to get right away. We can close in about 15 days, all cash. From there, they pay off any existing mortgage balance and closing costs, and then they're free and clear, and then they're able to net the rest and put it towards a new purchase. Now, at that point, we would either relist the property with you
immediately, or we would come in, bring in our team of licensed, vetted and insured vendors, do any minor or major renovations. And then once the property is in top condition, we list it on the open market. And then once it sells, that's when the seller gets the remaining proceeds. The sellers do retain a lot of control throughout the process. They have sole discretion over any work that's done, even though we're covering the costs up front, will be reimbursed. They also can work with you to set the listing price. And then they have full discretion over how we respond to any offer for the first 30 days that the property is on market. So this would be for your sellers who need to sell quickly. Maybe they're looking to move out of state and are a bit nervous. I'll get to you in 1 second. And then, or, we've had estate sales, divorce and couples, etc. Sure.
What if there are liens against the property?
Mhm.
Cover that too.
So all of the liens against the property would need to be paid out with the proceeds of the first transaction, because it needs to be free and clear when we take title. So I do have this, sorry, yeah. I do have a success story for this particular example. This was in Torrance. The sellers were elderly, they had great equity, a lot of deferred maintenance, but they were looking to retire to Texas. And so they were kind of nervous about purchasing a new home. They didn't know how quickly their current home would sell, but they also knew that they could get about $200,000 or $300,000 more if they had the funds to put the work in. So we came in and purchased it for them for $975,000. They were actually able to make a non-contingent cash offer on the property in Texas, close seamlessly. They were able to take their time moving, from California to Texas. They came in with Scott. We did about $180,000 worth of pre-sale home prep in a vacant property. We staged it, and then it sold really quickly, and it sold for $1.4 million. We just wired them the rest of the money.
And so with the economics, you don't have a breakdown of the economics. The end, but you take out your investment of improvements
Mhm.
and your and the cost of leverage, the cost of money,
Mhm.
and then whatever's left over after that 975, you guys they get the whole thing, or do you split?
Exactly. So no, we don't split the profit. We don't take anything above our fee, which is a base of 3 to 5%. We also
5% for the money,
3
and then
Of the sale of.
of the final
Final.
sale price.
Yeah.
Yes,
and then the cost of all the renovations.
exactly. And then we also do have a monthly carrying cost of 0.99%.
How much was it?
0.99, 0.99% per month.
there a certain percentage of equity that needs to be in? That what is?
For it to make sense, usually about 30 to 35%. Yeah.
Do you have some sort of a net sheet based on this? Because I think that might help.
I do. I got some bad feedback, so I took it out of my deck. I heard that it's kind of hard to read, but I can definitely send it to Paula. Yeah.
No, I know.
So just a couple of before and after pictures. Yeah.
I'm aware.
Also, lastly, are there any agents who have had listings that you knew that if you just put $5,000 into the property, that it would sell, faster for more money, but the client was not having it? Anybody? Right? Or have you had to cover the cost of staging because you knew that it was necessary, but the sellers didn't want to pay for it? Well, that's good. Here's where we come in with KW Concierge. So we found that homes prepared by us increase in value by 6.4%, and they spend half the time on market. We'll do anything from decluttering, staging, deep cleaning, painting, estate sales, if they need a storage facility, cross-country moving. We will cover all of those costs, and then we are later reimbursed through the closing of escrow. My favorite part of this process is that you do have a project manager who will be assigned to your project. They'll oversee everything from start to finish. They source the vendors, pay the vendors, so you don't have to worry about that additional stress. And then just a little bit about the process. Once you have the signed listing agreement, you send the details to us. It's going to be assigned to one of our project managers. They'll get the vendors' bids, source the vendors, schedule the vendors, present the proposal to your client. And once your client signs off, work can get started as soon as possible. As I mentioned, your client's not spending a dime out of pocket, and then we're reimbursed at the closing of escrow. Are there any questions about pre-sale home prep? Sure.
So, do the financing thing, or can you just do the fixing of the property part?
You can, yeah, this is a standalone program, but they work really well in tandem. But you can absolutely just do the pre-sale home prep. Any other
You
questions?
said you, the state say that everything's
Mhm.
what, any funds you make from that?
No, we just facilitate the estate sale. We don't touch any of the proceeds from the estate sale. Yes, and for this, it's not the base fee of 3 to 5%. Our margins will already be factored into the vendor's cost. So what the client sees on the proposal, which is itemized with the work and the cost, that's exactly what they'll pay. So there's not a monthly fee with this. Any
And
other?
as far as the contractors use like to prep the home, like the stagers, do you have your own vendors or do you work with, let's say, like if we have vendors or if sellers have their contractors, like how does that work?
That's a great question. So we do have a platform of licensed, vetted, and insured vendors. If you have your preferred vendors, we'll gladly work with them as long as they're licensed and insured. And the same with your sellers. The only caveat with that is that they've probably seen the pricing, and the pricing that their vendor shows them is not the pricing that we're going to show them, because we still have to bake in our margins. But as long as they're fine with that, absolutely, yes.
But if the seller changes their mind, they just have to reimburse you for all of it.
Yes,
And then, so that's in the contract, like you tell them, by the way, it costs this much, if you change your mind, you have to reimburse this $7,000.
yeah. And up to a few months ago, I could confidently say that that had never happened, and then it did happen. So if the client does change their mind, we do need to be reimbursed for the cost immediately. But they do have up to a year for the property to sell. As long as they don't break the listing agreement with you or take the property off the market, we're fine. And our contract is actually independent of yours, so there's no liability for you at all.
They have to.
Oh, yeah. Mhm. Yes.
You said there earlier that that's discretion, that you're selling after 30 days, to go you or
That's a good question. So after 30 days, we do have a price reduction schedule where we will begin decreasing the listing price by 2% every 30 days thereafter. Yeah,
But the listing agreement is actually with you.
yes, for the
Because-
forward program, yes, not pre-sale home.
Yeah.
Yes.
The approximate markup.
It could be anywhere from 18 to 25%.
How does that?
Well, we do work with our vendors who give us like rebates and competitive pricing. We found that it is comparable, but it all depends on who you ask, because some people may say we're a bit pricier. Yes. Yes. Is it for condos or townhomes?
Can you quickly kind of do, I guess I'll call it an objection handler type of response so people know, because Compass has a concierge program, which is different from Zoom Casa. Maybe just how would you explain that to a client if you're in a listing appointment? How does Zoom Casa differ from the Compass concierge program?
Absolutely. So based on what I know about Compass, they kind of just give the seller the funds up front and then they're left to their own devices. Whereas with Zoom Casa, we're all encompassing. We have a project manager or even a designer who will come in and make recommendations specifically to increase the value of the property. I mean, I'm sure we know that sellers, they'll get the money and may do what they think will increase the value, but you as the agent knows that it won't make a difference. So we want to avoid that. So I would definitely say that that's the biggest element that differentiates us from Compass. Also, you as the agent.
Limited amount of months that they feel ceiling on the amount,
Okay,
right?
yeah.
And
With us, it's tied to the equity.
yeah,
Right.
and the agent is held, is tied to.
Well, and I actually thought that that was the biggest difference is that with Zoom Casa, you as the agent previously were not tied
You're
to.
not.
You're not tied.
But
You're
I
not.
thought you said that
No,
that they would have to reimburse you if they broke their listing agreement. That's
No,
why I was.
no, the seller.
the only way they're tied is that they'll have this year to not pay back. As long as they keep it on the market and do not use anyone.
Yes,
Okay.
because they can't use our program without you.
Got it.
We're partnered with you as the agent. So no, you're not responsible for reimbursing us. It's the seller.
I just figured people would encounter, like if they're presenting it as a special thing to KW, you might encounter somebody saying, oh yeah, I heard Compass has that too. So just
Yeah.
how to respond to it.
These guys have a sheet and what they'll do, which they did, and what they'll do and how much they will spend.
And ironically, Charlotte, on my YouTube commercials, I get the same service, but it's similar to what Compass is offering. It's not as detailed. As the emphasis.
Right, I believe they used to be 2% of the list price was what Compass did, whereas yours is based on equity.
Based on equity, yes.
I have a question about that. So say the house is worth $1 million, there's 900,000 equity. What is your cap or what you guys would put it? Yeah.
Well, that's great equity. So, I mean, I wouldn't say that, I mean, I'd say we have a lot of wiggle room for budget. It's all gonna come down to saleability, the scope of work. I mean, it varies, but the budget would be, I can't give you hard numbers. It'd be
Right, so
sufficient.
you don't have a percentage.
I don't have a percentage. No, it does go through an underwriting process. No cost to the client.
So we would be the list. We buy it, and then when you sell it, we also do this. Sell it, so that people.
So that's going back to the forward program. With pre-sale home prep, we don't take title, so you remain a listing agent throughout the process. With forward, when we actually do purchase the purchase the home, the first transaction is principal to principal, but then you would be representing us on the listing for the resale transaction.
No.
Well, there's no,
Only when they are selling it, but they are on the title.
there's no commission for the first transaction.
It's only when it's on the open market, not between the seller and forward. It's like a title transfer almost.
Yeah.
And you're not involved in that.
And what, how do you, like, have you been to any appointments? Do you go to the listing appointment? Like, what do you suggest? Like, how should we present your
Yeah.
service?
Absolutely. It's a lot of information. I know that it took me months to learn it. So you'll actually have access to my calendar. I'll sit on a Zoom call with the three of us and we can talk through everything. We also do work with lenders. If you want to include the lender, I'll go through the numbers and answer any questions you or the client may have.
But I think it's important for everybody to understand these are two separate programs. They can work together, but you are absolutely not required to do both of them.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because, you know, you may run into some pushback on the fees.
There's two tools in your tool.
Yeah.
The one you would probably use more often is this one.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Which is fixing up the property or staging, doing work on the property to add value to it. And then they get paid at the end of the course.
How do we get access to your materials?
I also have some cards. I'll be in the back, but I do have branded materials. And like I said, you'll always have access to my calendar. If you have any questions, I do agent trainings. They're usually about 15 minutes. So please take down my information and I look forward to working with you all. Are there any more questions? Awesome. Thank you guys for your time.
And Lauren's gonna be.
Ask a question so I can give away a book. Yeah. Something, see if they were paying attention.
For forward, what is the max equity that will unlock for the forward
You
program?
have to raise your hand or you don't get a book.
Awesome. Yeah.
Thank you. What do you want? You got the online leads, you got the newsletters, you got the playbook, the MREA. Online leads? There you go. All right, perfect. Who's about that?
Huh?
Good job. See? All right, everybody's excited about it. How you doing, Josephine? You're on the big screen. You're on the big screen now.
Hello.
Like a little Max Headroom. Little Max Headroom thing going on there. All right, let's move forward.
Youngest.
Yeah, well, look it up. It was a characterization of the future in 1980s, right?
Yeah.
Pocket listings coming soon. What do you guys got? Anything? What's a brewing? Anybody in the room? Oh, Sarah, come on.
Up the feature all the way up. The views are crazy. And you set down really high. They want to cooperate with police. And then I got my lowest standard. I have a condo in the lowest in West Hollywood, but we have to find a buyer to do it first. So I was ready to sell. It's still up to 1.5. buy or rent.
Excellent. So what are we looking for? We're looking for a 5 for him or?
Either. We're looking to get him out of.
Selling stuff.
I actually think that this is great for the condo, it needs a little bit of work, although we can't find us to adjustable, but he does need to come in and,
Do it for it.
yes.
All right,
So,
get
we have
Lauren in there to talk and,
to get him out.
yeah, excellent. Anyone else, Christina?
So I have a 5-bedroom, 6-bath, 3,500 square feet, brand new construction. Culver City. Pricing is about 3.6 million. Yeah, about 3.6 million for it. Brand new construction. It's beautiful, really, really well done. And this developer is implementing this thing that's going to be very unique in the new construction market. And it's called a healthy home. We're going to give a whole tutorial about it, but what it does is it sucks the air, filters it, and then it cleans your air, and also it prevents outside air from coming in. So it's pretty phenomenal. Yeah, so you're eliminating all of the dust, dust, all of the pollutions and all of the stuff. So you have quality control in the air of your home.
Selling a bubble.
I'm selling a bubble. Yep. It's like a
Boy in the
It's like a
bubble.
boy in the bubble. Oh, the boy in the bubble, yes. Almost, but the house doesn't match.
But the house is probably prettier than a bubble.
Yeah, so I've got that, and then I've got a couple of leases. I've got one in Monterey Hills in the Via Marisol area. That's gonna be available, beautiful 2-bedroom, 2-bath, plus den condo. And then I've got another one over in the Element Koreatown. I've got a 3-bedroom there, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, roughly about 1,300 square feet, pricing at about 4,200. So if you've got someone looking for that. And then I've got another one on Mariposa. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. That one priced like around 3,200, I think. I just, all this, I just got this information this morning.
What was the first one?
First one is the 5-bedroom.
No, the
Oh.
one in,
Via Marisol.
no, the previous one, the 2-bedroom house.
Via Marisol, Monterey Hill.
Okay.
So that's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. Yeah.
And how much?
That's gonna be roughly around like 3,300 plus den, so it's really oversized. Beautiful.
Excellent. All right, anybody else? Pocket listing coming soon. Anybody online? Pocket listings coming soon. Okay, let's move on. Wants and needs, fill the bucket. Who's got a wants or need? Bring it out.
I have a buyer. Budget is small.
It's gonna like 3 million?
The first time buyer's not buying the 3 million.
700,000 Culver City or a very large.
$720,000,
720,000. Yeah, 720.
and they're looking for what?
Just like.
Condo,
Condo, yeah.
condo in there. Just hold it up.
Then I also have another buyer on Springs.
We have some leverage for you in Palm
Yeah,
Springs.
but beautiful listing in Palm Springs, Eileen's.
Yeah, Eileen.
So that's called an SB9 program, okay? And you can look in the R1 zonings. Why don't you talk to me afterwards and I'll educate you.
Yeah, we could connect him with Russell out there too, might be able to help.
Talk to me after the meeting about your buyer for the 720 in Culver City.
Oh, well, it's like Brian transcribed all of that into the chat. Excellent. Who else has wants or needs? Gratitude, wants or needs gratitude. Anybody online wants or needs gratitude? Bring it.
To me at the open houses this weekend, I was on Saturday and Sunday, to Melanie and Angel and Cedric came by. It was really fun to have them. And
I appreciate it.
All right, Melanie, so there you go. Yeah, absolutely. All right, anybody else, wants to, thank you, Smith. Oh, always.
Oh, I have a fill the bucket, David, because, you know,
Okay, Tracy stomped on your line.
sorry.
Go ahead.
No, just fill the bucket for David, because like I said, I've had a lot of escrow companies throughout my career, and this team over there is really going above and beyond. So guys, I encourage all of you to use Larchmont escrow. They're fabulous. They're not just our in-house, they're like the best one I've had in years. Just fill the bucket for David.
Thank you so much. And Jonathan. Jonathan's back there. Jacqueline Jans. There you go. Jacqueline, what do you got, Jacqueline? Excellent. Congratulations. Well, maybe I didn't hear. What did you say? Oh, that's good. Thank you.
Yeah, meeting's over.
Charlotte, ask a question. We got one more book to give away. Oh, all right, let me try. Christina, ask the question. Wait.
Ask the question. Oh, okay, so. What zoning does an SB9 program need to be in?
Oh.
There you go. All right, guys, have a great week. I believe Zoom Casa has provided some lunch in the training room. You can chat up Lauren and thank her for